Hi, welcome to Balance with Bailey, your go to podcast and wellness platform for figuring out how to balance it all, trying to create balance in a chaotic world with a chaotic lifestyle. And you know what? This week, we're addressing the elephant in the room. Since it's been a good amount of time and I got broken up with on a random Wednesday, why not talk about the breakup on a random Wednesday? I want to start off by saying, obviously, no hate, all love. Like, I don't want to just like sit here and bash my ex or the situation, but I share my life online and he knows that. We've talked about it. He's chill with this. He knew what he was getting himself into. So, we're going to talk about it a little bit. And this is more objectively just about breakups in general, let alone my personal what I've been going through, but also I'm going to share a little bit of that to an extent for the relevance of the story, for the relevance of the topic. So starting off with let's take it from the very top. Getting broken up with versus breaking up with someone. Now I'm not going to lie, I've done both. I've been through both. I don't like either, but I think the mindset when you get broken up with is a little bit easier to handle if it's out of the blue or not, but when you're the one breaking up with someone, I think it's a lot more pressure on you versus like when someone breaks up with you, it's easier to be like, oh, their choice, whatever. So you're sitting there and you hear the words, we need to talk. And no matter how you're hearing those words, it's going to be a serious conversation or B, you're getting broken up with. And let's be real, majority of the time, you're getting broken up with. No one ever says that. If someone texts you that, that's messed up because who texts that? That just stresses me out. And so, yeah, that's exactly how mine went down. But once you hear those words, you start mentally preparing yourself. And honestly, if it's out of the blue or not, you sit down and have a conversation because obviously you need to talk about something. And you would hope that there would be conversations leading up to it of like, I'm not happy and kind of like get the vibe going into it. But sometimes you don't. And in those conversations, you have to be so strong for yourself and your dignity because honestly, at that point, once someone decides they're out of the relationship, it's none of your business. None of my business. I actually am only focusing on myself now and I actually like have to block you out mentally and not think about you, especially when someone breaks up with you because ultimately it was their decision. They put themselves in the situation. You didn't bring the situation upon the relationship, they did. So as soon as you sit down for that conversation, you have to kind of divide like your own self versus that relationship, unfortunately, because at this point it's over. Like there is no having a conversation, begging for someone back, asking for another chance. Absolutely not. And I think as women, it's easy to do that or kind of fall into that category. But if I can give you one piece of information or advice, never be the girl who begs or texts or calls after you break up. My rules for a breakup, you break up, we are going no contact. You're being stronger than that. Talk to your friends about it. Beat the dead horse. Tell them the story a million times. Talk to your mom. Talk to your dad. Talk to your therapist. I don't care. Talk to anyone but that person, to be honest with you, because like how often do you have that conversation and it goes well? Or they're like, yeah, since you're begging, crying for me back, I'll give you another chance. Maybe that works for how long? A month or two or a year? Like there's no way you begging someone for something is ever going to turn out in your favor, unfortunately. And yeah, that's kind of a hard truth. But the sooner you learn that, the easier it's going to be to handle these situations, like moving forward and honestly giving that advice to your friends because nothing is as worse as being the friend watching someone go through that or like when they start to cycle through it of the fighting, the breaking up, the getting back together. I cannot. And that might just be me personally, but no contact. So anyways, backing it up, we're getting ahead of ourselves. You sit down, you have a conversation, whatever conversation that is of why the relationship is ending. You need to mentally check yourself because also there is no way you're ever going to get clarity or full closure from another person. You can think you will, but honestly that closure comes from within yourself. And if you don't have closure in that moment, that's okay. You're going to get there eventually, but unfortunately, it's going to be on your own because this relationship is now over. And if it's more of a spontaneous spur of the moment breakup, okay, you can have a conversation for a little bit, take a couple days, come back together, have a true conversation of what's going on now that you've had time to process, and then move on from there. But if you knew this was coming, or if this is like there's been issues in the relationship, whatever, you're breaking up, this should be your final conversation. Or, yeah, honestly, this should be your final conversation. And unfortunately, that might take 30 minutes, that might take an hour. It might take some back and forth. It might take some self reflecting and also like asking a lot of questions. But what we're not doing is begging for them back. And we're setting expectations in this conversation for the future so that there's no boundaries and no lines being crossed. And unfortunately, even if you're the one getting broken up with, you have to set those boundaries. So, whatever you want that to look like, the boundaries I've set in the past and that I kind of live by is once we're done here, like we're done. You're not calling me, you're not texting me, you're not saying I miss you in a week or a month or two. I'm not talking to your friends, you're not talking to mine. Like clean slate, no hard feelings. We are going in completely opposite directions. And that's what needs to happen because you ultimately made this decision. And if you're the one who made the decision, you can set the same boundaries of this isn't how we need to move forward. And unfortunately, it gets messy when you do or you don't set those hard boundaries. That's when, if you live together or they have mail come in your house or different things like that, that's when it gets a bit more messy. If there's pets involved, like that's going to be a way longer conversation. And however long you're together, that conversation just gets longer and longer. So like if you're only together a couple months, like girl, get it done in an hour, you'll be fine. Versus like years, it's going to be a bit longer. If you live together, if there's logistics you need to go through, like you really have to sit down and work all that through in one conversation. It's going to suck, but do it. Don't even think about getting physical. Okay, you can have a last kiss goodbye. That's absolutely it. Like it should be all talking and emotional, and there should be no other feelings or anything else going on. That's when you get seriously messy, and that's really when your feelings just get hurt. So just don't do it. Like set the boundary straight. Know what you want going into the conversation if it's not out of the blue and you're not blindsided. But if you are, you can take time, be able to set those boundaries. Your boundaries are going to be respected when you set them. If you don't set them, you're not going to get that mutual respect. And as tough as it is, don't text them. Don't text them after. No communication. When I mean no communication, I mean hard fucking stop. Like by the time you're home from this conversation or they leave, their name needs to be back to their full name in your phone. If you don't delete or block them, depending on your relationship and how bad it was, I just go back to a full name, delete the text threads, like get that out of your energy and your space and start to kind of focus on yourself and figure it out. But yeah, full name back in the phone. Absolutely no nicknames. Delete the text threads. I don't want none of that. And also it'll be less tempting to go back and read them or text them again or call them. Like, no, just like get it out of your history, get it out of your space. Then when you have a couple days, clean your space. The things I did, I bought a new comforter. I rearranged my room, like full deep clean, play the sad music, get in your feels, feel it, cry in the shower. I don't have as much emotion in general, or like I hide it, I guess. So it took me a little bit longer than just to like break down immediately and cry for 3 days. That's just like not how I move. So it takes a little bit longer for me to process and in different ways. So whatever timeline, it's completely yours. No one's going to have the same timeline as you. No one's going to find closure or heal the way you do. And it's fully just trusting that like, okay, I'm not upset with myself, that I'm not super upset in this moment because I know it's going to come on a random Monday at 8 a.m. and I'm just going to start bawling. Like that's more how I deal with it and how my journey's kind of been. But to each their own. Like whatever you got to do it. Take a couple weeks. Be sad. Be upset. Really focus on restructuring basically your entire life because you are completely changing everything that you thought was going to be stable. And if you're like me, you thought you were going to be with that person for the rest of your life. So you like build up all of this stuff, but also take a moment to realize that a lot of that stuff, you are falling in love with the potential of that person, the potential of that relationship, not what you're in at the moment, because obviously there was a reason it ended. So sit with that for a second. Think about it. There was something wrong enough for someone in the relationship to pull out. So all of the things you built up in your head and plans you made were just like in your head. That's a different reality we're not living in. So taking that time, having that hard sit down with yourself and being like, okay, like really, come on. Thinking about all the good things, all the bad things, sometimes leaning more towards the bad things when you're needing time to get over things, and decluttering the space, decluttering the energy. Archive the Instagram photos. You don't need to fully delete them, just archive them, get them out of your space. And if you're lucky like me, your ex doesn't have social media, and I have no idea what he's up to. He has no idea what I'm up to. It's probably better that way. And worst case, you randomly see someone in public, but what are you going to do, especially when you don't live in the biggest city ever or have the same friends? But those are just things that are going to happen down the line. And honestly, that timeline has nothing to do with you. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. And you're going to do what you need to do. Then, once we're at that point where we've kind of processed, you're out of the immediate routine of like what you do when you would make dinner and all of these things and like activities. So then you're going to really sit down and restructure what your day-to-day looks like. We're setting new routines. We're taking this as like literally a new life. Like that whole chapter, that old you, gone, done. We're fully moving into a new chapter, sitting down, journaling what you want that chapter to be like, being so specific on how you're going to focus on yourself. I don't care how many people come out of the woodworks liking your Instagram story, hitting you up in the DMs. You're absolutely okay. You can engage. But like, we're decentering men. Like, there's no hooking up with random people. There's no talking to people from your past. Like, there's no room in our brains for that energy. Our energy is all about us. It's all about you. It's all about what you're doing, where you're at in your life, and how you're going to level the fuck up, because absolutely not entertaining any men, because that's just like unrealistic, and that's not going to help you in any way. That's not going to help you get over it. That's not going to help you create the life and the new habits you want and need at this point. So just don't even think about it. Create a new routine, your day-to-days, what you want to focus on, what your new goals are, and how you're going to achieve that, because this is the time to lock in. Like, once you've had the time to process, you've eaten the candy, you've eaten the sugar, like you've had your bad habits, you've had your couple weeks of going crazy, it's time to lock in. Like I always say, you can be messy for 3 months. By the time you're at 6 months, we're locking in. Like, it's about to be summer, and now is the time. So many people are going through breakups. So find a friend who also is, or someone else who's kind of in the same chapter, and like lock in with them and decide what you're going to do before summer, because being single in the summer is the best thing ever. So you know what? Looking at it as a blessing. We have a couple months to figure it out. And by that time, we're going to be a brand new person. It's also hard when it comes to people asking about it, and like that first little bit's so awkward, and you like don't really want to talk about it. You don't want to talk bad about your ex, but people are asking. And you know what, like literally, even if it wasn't amicable or like ending in a good way, you just say like no hard feelings, we're fine, I'm just so focused on myself in this new chapter, and move on. Like, you do not want to be the girl begging for an ex back. You do not want to be the girl talking negatively about your ex in public or to people or their friends. It's going to get back to them, and it honestly like just looks so bad on your part. It's hard to be the bigger person. It truly is, especially in a relationship, that ended when it wasn't on your terms. But unfortunately, you have to keep your mouth shut. And I did make a TikTok, and I thought it was nice that I was just stating facts of what happened, and it did blow up, and I did end up deleting it because I just honestly didn't want talking about someone else on my social media, let alone an ex, giving them attention. Also, he was very aware of this. I want to make this so effing clear. He was aware I did this. I told him about it. He saw it. He was fine with it. And so, like, I actually don't give a flying fuck what anyone else thinks but him in that situation, because, like, once family and friends get involved, like, that's not my place. Like, I'm no longer catering to your needs or your, like, perception of me. At this point, the only perception I care about is myself and my friends and my family. And that is genuinely the hardest part sometimes. but it's what you have to do because it's the only thing you can do. And that's why I deleted the TikTok. I didn't want to upset everyone. But moving forward, like talking about what I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about it. Also, okay, I'm going to be so real right here. I posted that breakup video and I got like 3 hate comments. And I was like, okay, usually when my stuff gets over like 30,000 views, which that video did, I'll start to get some hate comments from random people. But there were some trends. I also made another video that was like things I've done during my breakup to like help heal myself. And some of these comments were coming from the same account that also had photos of me that weren't very public and using some terminology and some language that I know exactly where these were coming from. And instead of reaching out to my ex, me like, hey, can you tell this person to stop? Instead of reaching out to that person directly, I just blocked them, unfollowed them, and moved on. But I know they're not listening to this. But if you know who it was, I know who it was too. Thank you. You did not hurt my feelings. I actually thought it was funny that you were putting in the effort to do that. And that's all I have to say on that topic. But your hate fuels me anyways. And it really, again, none of this was my fault. So I don't know why people are getting upset with me, which it was literally one person. But no one should be upset with me when it wasn't my choice or my decision. And sometimes you just got to keep your mouth shut. And maybe that's a lesson I learned in that situation of like, you know what? I didn't even need to address it. I was just sick of everyone asking me what happened. And it's embarrassing when it's not your choice. And when things happen out of the blue for you and it's really unfortunate timing. But again, being the bigger person, I'm not going to talk bad about it. The situation, it's fine. It's over. We're chill. We haven't spoken. I really do stand on business when I mean no contact. And honestly, it's the only way you can do it without dragging it on, getting it together and moving forward. And you know what? That post-breakup glow is going to be the best thing ever. And unfortunately, it's a roller coaster. There's not all ups. There's not all downs. You just have to lock in, like finding your routine, finding your workouts again, posting what you want to post. Like 90% of the time when you go through a breakup, everyone's like, oh my gosh, you got your personality back. And it's like, yeah, like I realize my life is all about me again. And unfortunately, I'm 25. Like it's so interesting here living in Idaho. All of my couple friends live together, I think, except for like 1 or 2 couples that I'm really close with. But that's like 1 or 2 out of like 10 to 15, which is a lot. And then looking back at all my friends on the East Coast, not a single one of my friends on the East Coast is living with a significant other. Is that financial reasons? Is it like, I don't know, whatever. But it's so crazy to look at the demographic and like maybe subconsciously I was falling into that. Like I didn't think I was, and I hope I wasn't starting to feel that pressure, even if I didn't know I was. But like at the same time, reminding myself, I'm 25. I am so young. Like starting over at this age is a blessing. And if it's going to happen, I'd rather have it happen now, not waste my time, not waste my 20s, and not ever have that feeling in the back of your mind of like, am I settling? Is this the right choice? Am I going to regret this? Like when you're single, you never feel like that. And I think that is such a freeing thing to feel when you're not getting the validation or the answers that you necessarily need. But then again, that comes back to taking your time to find closure within yourself and not that person. The last conversation I had with my ex, I knew that I wasn't going to find the closure I needed. And unfortunately, that's how men are sometimes. No offense, but fully offense at the same time. If there's not a set reason you're breaking up, a gut feeling, I don't know, any of that, that is not on me. That is on you and what you need to work on and figure out what you want. Because personally, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything that made you feel that way, is what you're telling me. So like, I'm just taking that as you are figuring your life out and things you need to do and moving on, because what are you going to do? Honestly, I don't know if that's worse or if it's worse them giving you a direct reason, because if they're like, oh, like there was no emotional connection, there was no physical connection, you're going to think about that for months. So like you're either going to spiral making up all the excuses or spiral on the excuse that you got. So like process it as much as you need to, send it on, pack it up, send it on its way. Get rid of all the shit in your room, get rid of the letters, get rid of the gifts, and again, it's just a journey that we're all on. We're going to learn over and over again. And majority of the time, you're going to have more breakups than successful relationships. So you might as well learn how to handle it now and find your support, find your system. Like, do what you need to do also to process it, because the longer you put it off, the more you're not going to process it. And I think this is the first time I've gone through a breakup and really taken time to process it and like tried to get myself to like really sit in the emotions of it. Journaling is amazing. Like, sad music in the shower, 10 out of 10 in the car. Like, my breakup album of this breakup has been Sabrina Carpenter's like specifically the song My Man on Willpower. That's my new karaoke song. So if you haven't listened to that song, go listen to that. All of that is kind of my vibe. And like, just moving forward, finding your good songs, hanging out, like you get so much free time. Like, to hang out with friends that you always say you're gonna hang out with when you see them at a workout or like randomly on the street. Like, you actually now have time to go get drinks with them. You now have time to focus on your girlfriends that you haven't seen, or different little hobbies that you didn't even realize you stopped doing. Reading. Like, I've actually gotten so much back into reading. Brick sent me a brick, so I've been bricking my phone. So I haven't been on social media as much unless I'm creating. And then I've been reading and journaling again. If you guys read it all and know that the new A Court of Thorns and Roses is coming out in October, I'm now restarting the series back at book 1. So I have some work to do. I have a lot of pages to read until then. So like, I'm booked and busy now, literally. So finding little things like that and just like getting out of your comfort zone, finding new routines. Like, again, no one can process it for you. No one can go through it for you. So take the time, do what you got to do, be messy to an extent, a safe messy, not a toxic, like bad mouthing messy, but like go and drink too much at a happy hour. Go get drinks. That's my thing. I really have not been drinking or going out, but that changed. And I've been loving a happy hour. I've been loving a cosmopolitan. If you're going through a breakup, the first show you need to binge watch immediately, Sex and the City. That will heal so many things that you didn't even know you needed to heal. And that's why I've been drinking Cosmos. And it's a pink fun girly drink. That, some truffle fries and a Caesar salad. Girl dinner. Girl happy hour. Like, do that. Go dress up. Take the pictures. Post the pictures. Whatever you got to do it. And you're going to be okay. We're going to get through it. And no matter what, it's not the end of the world. It's a new chapter. Instead of dwelling on it and like freaking the fuck out about it, you just have to sit with it and let the roller coaster happen, the ups and downs, and you're going to be fine. You're going to figure it out. And you know what? It might hit you on a random Wednesday and you might get upset, but like, it's always going to be better in an hour or in a day. Like, again, single summer, Zara Larsson summer. Like, there are so many amazing things to look forward to. Just find one thing a week to look forward to if you're kind of in the thick of it at the moment. Plan a happy hour, plan a day outside, go on a walk, put your headphones in and just walk. I've been getting my 10K steps. Like, for me, anytime anyone like reaches out and wants to talk about the situation or whatever, I'm like, let's go on a walk. I've been getting like 15,000 steps a day, and honestly, amazing. Getting the steps in, getting outside, getting back into your workouts. It's just like the best thing you can do for yourself is moving your body. Because if you're in your head, you just need to go move your body and then you'll be fine. And like, go take a heated class and sweat it out. Sweat it out. New chapter. And also book a flight. We found flights to San Diego this past weekend, $80 each way. And one thing about me, I'm a book a flight. So we booked the flight. I had the event, the Hot Girls Handle Their Finances event was Friday night. We flew out Saturday morning, landed straight to a Legree class, straight to Better Buzz Coffee, hung out all day. I'm actually trying to think of what we did. Got ready. I saw my sister. We had all you can eat sushi. It was 70 degrees and sunny. Took the longest everything shower, got ready, borrowed my friend Rachel's going out clothes, went to the bars, found the Marines, like full San Diego experience, and just had so much fun. We brought cards to the bar. We've been playing Egyptian rap slap and forcing everyone to play with us. And was just such a great time. Sunday, we were at the beach all day, swimming in the ocean. Nothing is healing like the ocean. And just had a girls' night, made cookies and watched Love Story. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch that as well. So good. Such a good mindset as a woman going into a relationship. So add that to your need to watch list with all your new free time. And then we ended up flying home Monday night, and I coached Pilates early this morning. But overall, it was such a good healing trip. Plan a trip with your girlfriends. Even if it's like literally we got there Saturday morning and we left Monday at like 5 p.m. Quickest trip ever. So worth it. So nice to like get out of your space and out of your town or your city, wherever you are, and like have that vacation reset coming home. I feel 1,000 times better. So book the flight, do it. And hopefully this helps a little bit through whatever stage of your breakup you're going through. And moving forward, it's a new chapter. It's a new season. We're going to be fine. We're going through it together. I want you to follow all the socials because I've been posting hella lately, and all of the fun recaps. Go look at my San Diego recap. It was so much fun, and I'm so proud of all those pictures. So go interact with that. We had our Hot Girls Handle Their Finances event on Friday. We had our Hot Girls Handle Their Finances event on Friday. It was so much fun, and I can't wait to start doing more events like that. Moving forward for the Balanced community, we're going to have monthly guests on the podcast and then host an event with them. Next month, I'm very excited to announce coming up here shortly, and stay tuned. We're making the Balanced community educational. We're figuring out how to balance it all together and doing some in-person events, because honestly, that's my favorite thing ever. And I'm figuring it out along with you. I'm trying to balance it all. My balance has not been balanced lately, and I want to be so upfront with that. So if you have anything to chat about, my DMs are open. I want to hear it, all of it. Honestly, my TikTok DMs were like flooded with people being like, the same thing happened to me. So I think we're all going through the same thing right now. So if you are, it's okay. We'll get through it. I love you all so much. I'll see you next Wednesday. Love ya. Bye.